Hello ladies and germaphobes, it's been a long time. It's been quite a while, actually. I think it's been like a fucking month since I last posted, and that's just because, the holiday season. Also, I got a fucking haircut, as you can see. So, things are changing. So, there's been Christmas, there's been New Year, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. A little fucking delayed, but nonetheless. I want to take y'all back to Am I the Asshole? A lot of people are reading Reddit stories nowadays, whether it's today I fucked up, am I the asshole, have I been fucking my brother's sister? I don't know. Let's find out. We're gonna read some stories, we're gonna fucking judge them and react to them, and well, hopefully they're fucking good. For our first one, am I the asshole for refusing to let my neighbor use my Wi-Fi after they accidentally disconnected their service? I don't think so. I, a 30-year-old male, had a neighbor, a 40-year-old male, knock on my door, asking if they could connect to my Wi-Fi because they forgot to pay their bill, and their internet got cut off. I politely declined, explaining that I pay for my service and don't want to risk security issues. They got upset and left, but I thought that was the end of it. Turns out, they've been bad-mouthing me to other neighbors, saying I'm selfish and not community-minded. A friendly neighbor told me they're calling me cheap and claiming it wouldn't cost me anything to help out. Now I'm wondering if I was too harsh. Am I the asshole? You're not the fucking asshole, dude. They should fucking pay their fucking bill. If they were smart enough to pay for their shit, then they wouldn't be bothering you in the first place. For all we know, they probably skipped out on their gas, electrical, and who knows what else. So you're not the asshole for thinking about yourself. And also, it's very smart to think about security reasons, because there's a lot of internet shit that gets fucking hacked, whether it's your phone, whether it's your Wi-Fi router, whether it's your email. So shit gets hacked all the time, so it's very smart to be careful. So let's just go to the comments. Sharing Wi-Fi can risk your security and speed. It's not selfish to protect what you pay for. They're upset because they didn't get a free ride, not because you did anything wrong. Exactly. That's such a scary thought, and it's one of the main reasons I wouldn't even consider sharing my Wi-Fi. If they did something illegal, I'd be the one in trouble since it's my connection. It's just not worth the risk, no matter how quote-unquote innocent their request might seem. People underestimate how serious this stuff can get. Absolutely. Because a lot of people don't realize that there's shit like the FBI and ICE, that can actually look into these things, and they look at who the owner of the actual Wi-Fi router is, and that person gets in trouble, not the person that downloaded it. Because anybody could have downloaded it, but you are the sole owner and person paying for the Wi-Fi router, so they most of the time assume that's you, I think. Anyway, next one. Am I the asshole for not attending my brother's surprise birthday because it was planned at my house without my consent? Okay, let's read a little more into this, shall we? I, a 33-year-old female, am currently living with my partner and 2 children. My younger brother, 30-year-old male, recently had a milestone birthday, and my parents decided to throw him a surprise party. Normally, I'd be all for it. But here's where things get complicated. A week before the event, my mom casually mentions that they've planned the surprise party at my house because it's more spacious and centrally located for everyone else. This was the first I'd heard of it, and they hadn't asked for my permission beforehand. I was immediately overwhelmed because my partner had been recovering from surgery and our house is hardly in a state for hosting. I told my mom that hosting wasn't possible and suggested a few alternate venues. She got upset and said everything was already arranged and changing locations last minute would be too complicated. Feeling concerned, I stood my ground and said they needed to relocate the party or scale it down. The fallout was immediate. My brother, who was accidentally clued in, called me selfish for not accommodating the family on his special day. My parents accused me of ruining what could have been a perfect family gathering. In the end, they hastily rearranged the events at a cousin's place, but the atmosphere was strained and several relatives made passive-aggressive comments about my absence. I feel terrible for missing the party and causing such commotion, but also frustrated that my boundaries were disregarded. Am I the asshole for not hosting the party at my house and choosing to skip it altogether? I don't think you're the asshole. I don't think you're the asshole because you did say that your partner has been recovering from surgery, and depending on what type of surgery it is and how far he is into healing, like if he just got out of surgery, then no, I don't blame you for skipping on the birthday. You know, I'm sure in the future you can have your brother come over to your place and you can have a separate, event where, you're having him over for dinner, dessert, and you like exchange gifts and stuff. That'd be nice. But I don't blame you for staying home, especially if your partner just came out of surgery for something. But if your partner is recovering from surgery and like they need 6 months recovery and they're 4 or 5 months in, they're good. They're fine. It depends on how bad the surgery is and how far along in recovering they are. But if they just got out of surgery and they're recovering, then that's completely different rather than somebody that's near the end of their recovery. If they're near the end of their recovery, then, you might be a little bit of the asshole for just like dipping and being, not giving them an explanation. But if you explain to them that, hey, my partner just came out of surgery like 2 days ago, so I have to be there for them, then that's fucking different, obviously. So altogether, no, you're not the asshole. Let's go to the comments. She got upset and said everything was already arranged without the prior consent of the house owner. Clever shit. Everyone in your family thinking only of themselves, no one minding your particular situation, but you are the selfish one, huh? Okay. Your parents blaming you for their audacity, but in the end, they hastily rearranged the event at a cousin's place, so it could be done. Not the asshole. Yeah, they are blaming you. They're talking shit about you. They're blaming you. There's passive aggressive comments about you, and through this whole thing, they're complaining about why couldn't it have been at your place when they easily rearranged it last minute to somebody else's place, just because you stood your ground. All they had to do was fucking pick up a cell phone and do this. Hi, honey, it's Mom. Yeah, listen, we were thinking about throwing a surprise birthday party for your brother. Just want to know if it'd be okay if we can have it over at your place. Since it's, easy for everybody to get to your place, and you're kind of in the center of everything, so it'd probably be the best option. Is that okay? All they had to do was that. Just pick up a damn phone, call your daughter, and ask her if it's fucking okay, and then it'd be great. It'd be a thing. Communication is key, damn it. Fucking people not calling shit, being stupid and whatnot. Bring me the next one. My mom demands I move out of my apartment because my neighbor is too attractive. What the fuck does that have to do with you? Why is that your problem? Does your mom have a thing for your neighbor? Okay, so this just happened. And this is 15 hours ago. Oh, okay. So all these ones I'm reading are recent, just so you guys know. Just everything I'm reading today on January the 21st is recent. So everything's being posted now. I, a 25-year-old female, moved into a nice apartment a few months ago. It's a great place, safe neighborhood, decent rent, and I even get along with my neighbors. One of them, let's call him Jake, is a super chill guy about my age. We've chatted a few times and he's just friendly. That's it. Nothing romantic or weird. Yesterday, my mom came over for a visit. She took one look at Jake as he was leaving his apartment, and her whole demeanor changed. She asked me, "Who's that?" I told her he was my neighbor, and she immediately started grilling me. "Do you like him? Are you dating him? Are you sleeping with him?" I laughed and said, "No, Mom, he's just my neighbor." I thought that was the end of it. Nope. This morning she called me at 7 a.m. and said she had been thinking all night and decided I had to move. Why? Jake is too attractive, and it's only a matter of time before he seduces you and ruins your life. What? I was like, what? That's what I was thinking. She went on a rant about how men like him only have one thing on their minds. Which is what? Yeah, it's gotta be that ass. Those big old bitties. Their cars. That is not what we think about all the time 24/7. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm sorry to break the news to you. But this just in. Ladies and gentlemen, hi, CK Comedy here with some breaking news for you. Men do not think about sex 24/7. Sorry to burst your bubble, Mom, but it's not all we think about. Right now, I'm thinking about how stupid you are for thinking that, because just an hour before I started recording this video, I was thinking about what I was gonna eat today, okay? Shit goes through our minds all the time. And sure, for some guys, majority of that is poon and tang, okay? Proper gentlemen, proper guys, majority of us men, sure, it pops into our head a couple times, few times, maybe quite a bit, but at the same time, it's not all we think about, okay? We're humans, just like you. Thank you, Mom. You deserve a kick in the throat. Okay, she went on a rant about how men like him only have one thing on their minds and how I was too naive to see it. I tried to tell her that Jake and I barely even talk, but she wasn't having it. Then she said, and I kid you not, if you don't move out by next month, I will have to come over there and take care of him myself. What does that even mean? I don't understand what that means. Are you threatening to seduce the man? Are you threatening to seduce Jake, Mom? Are you threatening me that, like, if I don't leave the apartment that I just moved into, you're gonna fuck my neighbor? Huh? What's happening here? Mom, what do you want to do with Jake? Mom wants to go, Jake, come over here. Meet my mom. Oh, fuck. I told her she was being ridiculous and hung up. She blew up my phone with messages like, "You're disrespecting me. I'm only trying to protect you." And, "You'll thank me one day." And I blocked her number and went no contact because she does ridiculous shit like this all the time. Am I the asshole? Also, let me know if any of you want more stories. No, your mom's nuts. If she's done this before, if she's like threatened you and if she's threatened you and has manipulated, forced, or made you take decisions or choices based off of men in your life or shit she doesn't agree with in general, you gotta talk to your mom and you have to break her fucking bubble and tell her, "Hey, Mom, it's not your life, okay? Do us all a favor and shut the fuck up." I know she's your mom, and I wouldn't tell my mom to shut the fuck up because she's a wonderful, beautiful lady. I love you, Mom. You're great. I'll admit, I have told my mom that it's not her choice before. I have discussed stuff with my own mother where I was just like, you know what? This is my decision, not yours. This is stuff that I want to do, and you're not a part of it. So, I mean, you can't control my life anymore. And there's been multiple times where I've argued with my parents because they wanted something for me, and I told them, hell no. But because it's ultimately my life, and it's ultimately your life as well, OP. So you clearly know, and you clearly have stated that, and you stood your ground, be like, I'm not moving, because Jake is right now nothing to me. He is just my neighbor. I've only talked to him like twice, so yeah, no, you're not the asshole. Next story, simple as that. I'm not even gonna show you the comments because all of them are the same. They're all just not the asshole. The first top comment is, maybe give your neighbor a heads up. I don't know what your mom is capable of, but if she potentially could do something crazy, maybe give him a chance to prepare with cameras or something. That's what I would agree with. The top comment right there, that's the only thing I would agree with. Be like, let him know, like, hey, my mom's fucking nuts. She's trying to make me move out because she thinks you and I are smooch and smooch, okay? She thinks your ding-a-ling is going into my vajoodle, okay? That's not the case. But you might want to get some cameras, okay? All right, next one. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend I will happily walk away from a relationship that isn't serving me? Advice needed. Ooh, okay. Well, I don't know if you came to the right place, but you're gonna get some advice. I, a 29-year-old female, have known my boyfriend, 29-year-old male, for a year. Together for 10 months. There are a lot of pros to him, but ever since the second date, I've noticed my boyfriend is pretty indifferent about me and my life. During a 2 to 3 hour dates, he talked the entire time. The 2 times he asked me a question, he would cut me off and start talking about himself again. This behavior became pretty repetitive throughout the relationship, and I have tried my best to communicate how it bothers and affects me. But 2 days ago, as I'm driving, he calls to tell me TikTok is back and immediately says, "I know you're busy, so I'll let you go." I, in a passive-aggressive way, which I'm not proud about, said, "The drive is going great since I know you're dying to know." This became a whole argument because he felt I was disrespecting him in front of my sister. The next day, we had a conversation where I acknowledged my shortcoming, apologized, and explained I let my frustration take over. I also communicated to him that I am unhappy in the relationship because of his indifference towards my life, and that I need him to fix this. I told him as well that I will continue fighting for this relationship, but that I will not stay in a relationship that isn't serving me, when I know I can provide myself everything I need to be happy and feel fulfilled. Now, he is upset because my comment was rude and I'm making him feel like he's not adding value to my life. Am I the asshole? Edit. I think it's worth clarifying why I decided to go after the second date. After those first 2 dates, I communicated my concerns around this behavior and that I didn't think we were a good match. His response to this was very apologetic, and he tied it to nerves of dating someone. I decided to give him some grace and continue getting to know him, instead of judging based on 2 initial interactions. Now, as we continued dating, unfortunately, it became more apparent that he had to truly make an effort to show interest in my life, because it didn't come naturally. I will also admit that he heavily love bombed me. I've been a victim of that. I've been a victim of being love bombed, but I've also been the one on a couple of times being the love bombing one, where I have love bombed before. So, because I get affectionate and connected. Well, it's a good thing I'm taken now. It's a good thing I'm engaged. So, ladies, your boy's off the market. So don't message me. Something that even became a joke between the 2 of us. Now, in hindsight, this love bombing made me ignore these very huge red flags in the relationship. Now that some time has passed, I've realized how serious this is and how I am unhappy in this relationship. The good news is this all opened my eyes a lot and showed me I'm not being unreasonable for expecting a partner that shows interest in my life. I'm taking the steps needed now with this information in mind. I would tell you guys little stories with me and, I don't think she wants her name out there or not, so I'm just gonna call her me and Babe. Babe, good old Babe over there. Hey Babe, how you doing, Babe? Me and Babe, me and her, I have like love bombed her and got very affectionate for her early in our relationship, and but I have been the one to interrupt her unintentionally. And I think that might be just because of my ADHD, but in hindsight, I have, like, she's always had to tell me whenever I'm interrupting her that she's giving me looks and that it's like, hey, it bothers me when you interrupt me, like, please don't interrupt me. And whether I just, like, I need to get something out and tell her really quick, whether it's meaningless or not. That's just how I feel. And it could be the same way for this guy. He could very well, most likely, have ADHD, or he might just be completely oblivious and not pick up certain social cues. So for you, OP, who wrote this, the advice I'm gonna give you is you check to see if he has ADHD. If he doesn't have ADHD, then he might not just pick up social cues. And if you've told him about how him interrupting you bothers you and he doesn't kind of correct it, because it took me slowly, it took me a while to get shit corrected, and I've been doing it a lot less, but I still do it from time to time. I do interrupt my fiance. But if he doesn't work on himself and tries to get better, then he's not going to be the one for you. I know for my fiance, any sort of bad habits I have, any sort of problems I have, she's supported me 100% into me trying to get help. Those type of things, like, she's like, hey, just, set yourself, calm yourself down, like, give yourself a reminder, and it's just little things. So for you, OP, if you're listening, don't know if you are. I doubt you are, considering I don't even have 200 subscribers. But if you are listening, because this was posted 6 hours ago, I would say just if he doesn't adjust himself within the next, like, month or two, if he does, or even like less than that, within the month, if you don't see changes of him trying to not interrupt you as much, or try to get better for you, then just get out, because you need somebody that will adjust and will help themselves to help you, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I was just checking that because it's very possible that you could have some type of ADHD, some diagnosis. I know like majority of people do, and it explains a lot. You might be, some people are high, some people are low. So, but anyway, yeah, not the asshole. Moving on. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my stepdaughter call me dad? Huh, is your stepdaughter a bitch? Why are you not allowing her to call you dad? I, 35-year-old male, married my wife, who's a 34-year-old female, 5 years ago. She has a daughter, now 11, from a previous relationship. Her biological dad has been mostly absent, and I've been the one raising her like my child since we got married. Recently, she asked if she could start calling me dad. While I love her and think of her as my own, I told her no. I explained I am not her biological dad, and I don't want to take that title away from her real dad, even if he isn't very present. She got upset. My wife said I should reconsider, and now I feel like I'm messed up. I thought I was being respectful, but now I'm second guessing myself. Am I the asshole? This is a hard one. I'm not a father. I don't have kids yet. We're thinking about it, but we don't have kids yet. Honestly, man, it's I see what you mean. I understand both sides. You're not her dad, and you respect her father enough to be like, your dad is your dad. But there is such a thing as a dad and a father. Like, that man is her father. He is biologically her father. But you can be her dad. And I think that's where the difference lies. Because he is biologically her father. He is not present at the moment, and he's not around. But he is her father. However, you have been raising her like she's your own. And the fact that at such a young age she wanted to come up to be like, hey, I want you to be my dad. Can I start calling you dad? It does take a lot of guts and gumption to come up and say that and ask that. And like, you ever see those videos of people that ask their step parents if they will adopt them and be their, mother, father, dad, whatever the case may be? Like, will you be my legitimate dad? And so, I hate to break it to you, brother, but like, you might be the asshole in this situation. It's a very tiny asshole. Like, it's a very tight, small sliver of an asshole. Like, you're not an asshole. I would just say that it was a bad move. It was a bad move to say no. I don't think you're an asshole, though. I think you made a very, very bad decision. You didn't do a horrible thing. It was just a bad choice in the time. I would reconsider. I would say, you can call me dad. That's what I would say. He is your father. You have to accept that he is your father. He's your biological father. He's the one that gave birth to you. He's the one that helped out with your birth, but you know what I mean. I'm okay if you want to call me dad. I would be more than happy to have you call me dad. That's what I would say in this scenario. But let's go to the comments. Her working up the courage to ask this of you took a lot. It's an honorable thing and speaks to her connection to you. I'd reconsider if you plan on being in her life for that long haul. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are speaking about the whole dad thing, because the father and dad, it's two different scenarios. Yeah, why can't OP be dad and sperm donor be father? That's exactly what I was saying. That, like, the person who implanted is the father, the person who raised is the dad. And that's the thing. There are a lot of people out there that have fathers but don't have a dad. In this section, I would say you're not the asshole. You just made a poor decision in timing right now. But definitely reconsider. Be that girl's dad. Be that little girl's dad. Be there for her, Just step up as you have been for the last, 5 years, and be dad. Just be her dad. Just be her dad. That's all I can say. Next one. Alright, our last story. 5 hours ago. Am I the asshole for refusing to take care of my younger siblings anymore? Maybe. I hate to break it to you, brother, maybe. I, Beck, 16-year-old male, along with my twin sister Emma, 16-year-old female, and the oldest of 6 kids. Our parents, Michael, 45-year-old male, and Laura, 43-year-old female, have always emphasized the importance of family. You didn't even come up with fake names, my guy? You just put in everybody's just names and... Okay. Just all out there. Cool. Emphasized the importance of family, but that has often translated into Emma and me taking on a lot of responsibility for our younger siblings. It's been this way for as long as I can remember. We have 3 biological siblings, Oliver, 12, Sophie, 8, and Ellie, 6. About 2 years ago, my parents decided to adopt another child, Caleb, who was 4. And last year, my mom gave birth to twins, Noah and Lily. So now, there are 8 of us. Boy. And it feels like all the pressure of helping raise this big family has fallen squarely on Emma and me. Before Caleb came into the picture, things were already overwhelming. Emma and I basically helped with everything. Homework, dinner, baths, bedtime routines. We missed out on a lot of our own childhood because we were busy raising our siblings. When my parents told us they were adopting, Emma and I were shocked. We tried to explain how much pressure we were already under, but they brushed us off, saying we were overreacting and that this was an opportunity to teach us responsibility. Then, when Caleb arrived, the workload doubled. And just when we were adjusting, they dropped the bombshell that my mom was pregnant with twins. Emma and I were furious. The fact that you two are twins, you and Emma, and then your mom gets pregnant again with another set of twins? How strong is your dad's sperm? Dude, you do realize to have twins, that sperm's gotta split. That sperm's gotta split apart, my guy, into 2 and infuse it into 1 egg at the same time. That is nuts, first of all. Pun. But also, at the same time, that is crazy to do it twice. Anyway, I'm just saying. Now, with Noah and Lily here, I've hit my breaking point. I'm essentially a third parent. I can't go out with my friends without getting guilt-tripped. Emma had to quit her after-school drama club because my parents needed her at home to help with the babies. And whenever we bring up how unfair this is, my parents act like we're ungrateful and that family comes first. Last week, I finally snapped. My parents asked me to cancel plans to babysit again. I told them, no, not gonna fucking do it. That I wasn't their unpaid nanny. And they needed to take responsibility for the family they chose to have. My dad called me disrespectful and my mom cried, saying they've done everything for us and that we should want to help. Emma backed me up, saying we're tired of missing out on being teenagers because of their decisions. Now, they're barely speaking to us. Oliver overheard the argument and said we're being selfish for not helping out. I feel terrible because I love my siblings, but I don't think it's fair that my life is on hold because my parents can't manage the family they chose to have. So, am I the asshole for refusing to keep taking care of my younger siblings? This is the hardest one in the video. Family does come first, but, I mean, you spoke your piece and they didn't hear you and they decided to get pregnant anyway when they already had 6 kids. Well, they had 5, and then they adopted 1. Now they had 6, and then they had twins. I haven't checked the comments for this yet. I haven't scrolled down. I want to say you're not the asshole. Because when you're in high school, you should be experiencing high school shit. You should be experiencing life of being... And high school is the area where, like, especially as a kid, as a teenager, you're able to make mistakes. You know, go to parties, enjoy life, do some dumb shit, jump a fence, you know, rub some dirt on your knees, like do some crazy shit. You want to be able to like tell stories from your high school days and your college days to like, you know, your kids when you're older. Like, yes, it teaches you responsibility to take care of children, but you're both 16 years old. When I was like 16, 17, I had my first drink. And I'm not condoning underage drinking whatsoever, I'm just saying, you know. I mean, nowadays they're probably like kids drinking at the age of 14, which is nuts. But I don't think you and your sister are an asshole for speaking your mind and being like you don't mind helping out, but you can't do it all the time. That's not what you're there for. You have to remind your parents that like you are also a freaking kid. You're also a fucking kid, and you also need to raise as such. Yeah, you and your sister are the oldest. You're 16. Sure, you're teenagers, but you're also freaking 16. You and your sister are both 16 years old. Like, I don't think you guys are assholes. But that's just me. Let's see what comments say. The first comment, or the top comment, I should say. There's a huge difference between quote unquote helping and sacrificing your life. You're absolutely right to stand your ground and should continue to do so. Not the asshole. Next person, not the asshole. This is textbook parentification and it's a form of abuse. You and Emma didn't choose to have 6 younger siblings. Your parents did. They're the ones being selfish by treating you like free child care instead of letting you be teenagers. Family comes first. It's just manipulation to guilt you into being unpaid nannies. Your parents chose to adopt and have more kids while already relying too heavily on you both, making you quit activities and miss out on your social life to raise their kids is completely unfair. Stand your ground. You deserve to have your own life and childhood. Your parents need to figure out proper childcare instead of exploiting their teenagers. Absolutely. You had 3 other children younger than the 2 older ones that you have, and they're telling you, hey, this is too much, we're missing out on activities, like missing out on schoolwork, missing out on this and that. You don't acknowledge that. You don't think to yourself like, oh shit, like maybe we shouldn't have kids right now, maybe we shouldn't have this. You want to adopt a child after they speak their mind, and then once they're like, all right, they were starting to get comfortable with it, they started to get the hang of things, you then tell them that you're pregnant with twins. Not just one, but twins. Now you have 8 children. You have enough children for a soccer team, lady. I don't understand how parents or people get married and they're like, oh, I want a bunch of kids. I want a big family. I get the big family thing. I really do. However, there's a certain line between a big family and too much to handle. If you want a bunch of kids, you should be able to afford a bunch of kids. If you can't afford a nanny or a babysitter, then you shouldn't have the kids. It's too much work. It's too much on your plate. You're relying too much on your children, on the 2 oldest, your 2 16-year-old twins, to take care and basically play mini mom and dad when you guys are gone. And yeah, maybe you did help them out by putting them in school and put them in clubs. Well, that shit is out the door now because they can't do schoolwork. They can't join clubs. The daughter, Emma, she had to drop out from drama club. He can't do like sports, and they're both sacrificing their lives. They have to be able to go out and do their own thing. OP, not the asshole. Parents, assholes. And that's it. That's all I gotta say about that. If they, OP and Emma, go off to college, having so many kids at home may help with financial aid since they look at income and the size of the household. It would just suck for the next siblings in the lineup having to become the extra parent / unpaid nanny. Yeah, once you and Emma go to college, you won't have to worry about this shit anymore. Don't let your parents manipulate or talk you into staying at home or not going to college or university, or like, oh, you don't need that school, like take a year off and stay home with like me and mom, we need you here at home. We need your help. Take a year off. Be here with us. Don't let your parents do that. Go to college, go to university, study some shit, get some experience in, go on dates, get a relationship, maybe 2. Just go and live your life, guys. OP, Emma, go live your lives. Don't do what mom and dad say. Once you guys done school, then just come back and then you guys can make your own decision. Or move out. I'd say move out, because then mom and dad will be left alone with those other 6 children. Then they'll be like, well, what the hell do we do now? So, but anyway, that's all the time we got. Those are all the Reddit stories we have for today. If you guys like me reading Reddit stories of Am I the Asshole or Today I Fucked Up, you guys can go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right, take care. And don't give birth to a whole soccer league. Have a good one.